A screw. Use your imagination here for a moment. Imagine that you are tiny, 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 tiny. So I mentioned you were tiny, and you have one eye. It would be possible, if you were small enough, to get on this screw and walk continually around the screw all the way up, just wrapping yourself around till you get to the top. What I'm trying to illustrate there is a screw consists of an inclined plane that's wrapped around a cylinder. Once again, as you walk, you're just going around and around and around. It's an inclined plane wrapped around a cylinder. 4 properties of screws. It changes rotary motion, rotary meaning circular, into linear motion. If you ever seen someone use a screwdriver, the person is rotating the screwdriver, rotary, in an effort to take the screw and move it linearly. So it changes rotary motion to linear motion. Another property is a screw can be used as a thread fastener. Another property is there is a large mechanical advantage of a screw. And another property is that there is lots and lots and lots of friction. You ever turn a screw in, it's pretty tough to do. Let's talk about some thread information here. Oftentimes screws will be described like you see here. The 1/2 is referring to the diameter of the screw. As illustrated here, it's the diameter of the screw, not the screw head. So D is for diameter. 13 is referring to how many threads there are per inch. So in this picture, I didn't count, but let's say that's 1 inch from here to here. If this was 13 threads per inch, we could count 13 threads in that 1 inch. That leads us to the term pitch. Pitch is defined as the distance between threads and the linear distance traveled by one rotation of the screw. So since there's 13 threads per inch, I just realized I misspelled threads up here. Let me fix that. So where was I? If there's 13 threads per inch, then that means the pitch is just the reciprocal of that. Pitch is 1/13. That means that if someone were to rotate the head of this one full rotation, the screw would go into the wood 1/13 of an inch. And lastly, the NC, that stands for National Course. It's National Course. There can also be an NF, which stands for National Fine. So it can be an NF or an NC, coarse or fine. Coarser has maybe a little bit bigger grooves in the threads, maybe a little bit further apart. Fine, the threads are not as wide. Perhaps they're closer together. I don't know if closeness together has anything to do with it. It probably has to do with just the width of the actual grooves.